So welcome to this gathering of the Womb Oracle Weavers transmission for this beautiful full moon in Aries. And we have myself, Deborah Stanley, here in Devon, UK. We've got Karina joining us from the Amazon jungle. We have Diana from the United States and Nicole from Sinai, Egypt. So welcome, everybody, and we're just inviting you to tune in, to just take a moment to take your foot off the pedal and tune in with us to the energetics of what's occurring, what's here for you, what's dissolving, what's releasing. We are in the Northern Hemisphere in the autumn cycle of the fall, of the letting go. In the Southern Hemisphere, we're in the springtime, the emerging, the blossoming and the blooming. So really just welcome. Thank you for being here, and take a moment just to take a breath, close your eyes, come into your body. Just feel your space, feel your heart, feel your hara, your womb, and breathe with us now, connected in this beautiful web of sisterhood, feeling your humanity, bringing all of yourself, the messy parts, the enlightened parts, striving, the parts of you that are flying free. Bring all of them here. They're all welcome. And then just inviting you to focus down into your pelvic cradle, into your root, your womb, and anchoring a beautiful thread of light, a beautiful beam of red light down into the earth, wherever you are, down into the earth grids, becoming aware of the beautiful tree roots that surround you, the guard trees, the trees in the land surrounding you, receiving their blessing, and this spiraling down with this beautiful red beam of light all the way down into the womb of Gaia, wrapping a cord around the womb of Gaia with her molten rock, lava, magma, liquid iron, and receiving the medicine that you need right now to feel anchored, held, supported, open, soft, peaceful, courageous, and wise. And drawing that medicine up from Gaia's womb, all the way back up, spiraling up this beautiful thread of light back up into your womb. Receive it, feel it, claim yourself as a daughter of the earth. Beautiful. And then spiraling up through the top of your womb, the celestial womb, up through your spine. A beautiful golden thread of light out through your crown, beyond feeling the roof, the earth's atmosphere, beyond time and space, to an all-birthing mother womb of all creation, the cosmic womb. And allow yourself to just bask for a moment in her cosmic rays, receiving the nectar of her cosmic milk. And she too blesses you, showers you with the codes and gifts of what you are needing right now to embody, to feel, to bring yourself back into center, back into alignment with your truth, your wisdom, your strength, your courage, your compassion, and your life force. Feeling yourself as a child of the stars, the moon, the cosmos. And then bringing that beautiful golden thread all the way back down from the cosmic mother, down through your crown, back down your spine and into your womb. Breathe it in, receive it, feel it. And placing a hand on your womb, a hand on your heart. Breathing into the golden solar energy of your heart. Breathing into the expansion, the radiant divine masculine. Breathing into your womb, the shimmering silver lunar essence, the divine feminine. Visualizing a beautiful figure of 8 between these two centers. Feel the essence of these centers merging, greeting each other, weaving with each other, supporting each other, allowing, receiving, protecting, nourishing. Your heart womb essence. As we move through this portal of the full moon in Aries, feeling your fire and the beautiful balancing air energies of Libra. Blessings and love, whatever you are dreaming in, whatever this full moon is shining a light on, allow it to be, allow it to transmute, trusting, allowing, softening into your fullness. May it be so. And then passing the ball of wool as we weave these threads around the globe to Karina.
So thank you, Deborah, for that grounding. And here in the Amazon, I find myself in the Northern Hemisphere cycle. So feeling into that autumn energy, which I can deeply feel is happening in my life. What I feel to share today is that awareness of how is this energy manifesting in our lives as we look at ourselves, what is coming with this death, autumn energy, this letting go, this what is falling off like the leaves. So, and then what is our relationship with death and release, letting go. I've been in myself watching those parts of me that maybe don't want to let things go because I feel attached to them. And that's inviting me to trust more. How can I trust what needs to fall? I can just, like the tree, stay deeply grounded and in my power. And even the chaos is happening around, the winds are howling. What needs to go, just let it go. Keep my roots deep into the earth and centered in my peace within. So that's what I feel is happening in the moment for me, and inviting me to look deeper. And I ask for us to feel into that. What is our relationship with that? Trusting the letting go into the unknown, even if it feels scary, even if we feel like, oh my God, what's happening? What's going on? How can we surrender to that greater flow? How can we trust to the greater manifestation? There will be spring. Maybe some things will sprout again, maybe not, but flowing with that cycle of death and resolution. What needs to rebirth will happen naturally. So, that's what I feel to share for today. To be strong like the trees. Let those leaves be shaken. Let flow what needs to flow. Let go what needs to go. And trust. Okay, lots of love. I pass the baton forward to Sinai. From the Amazon, let's go to Africa and meet our sister. Welcome.
Thank you, Karina. Feeling into the Amazon in South America, where I have my roots, and feeling here in this dry land that in fact is a desert. But as I arrived back home here after 3 months and some days away, I'm so surprised that my garden is just greening and greening, and it's so beautiful. And it makes me think about, you know, how much fertility there is here, even though it's not so visible. When I arrived yesterday, so when I was landing and I was looking down from the plane, it's just really just sand. It's a lot of sand and the beautiful sea, and then patches of greens in different parts. But when I get here to my garden and I see how much, there's one tree in particular, I think it's acacia, one type of acacia, I'm not sure exactly which one. It's not the acacia from the desert. I'm almost sure it's acacia. And, you know, she decided to root herself here in my garden on her own. I didn't plant her. And literally when I left, she was maybe half meter, and now she's like 3 meters. She's like super, super tall. Her trunk is very skinny, but she's so tall. And actually they're beautiful flowers as well. And they remind me, the flowers, I'm not sure if you have this in England, Debs, but in Italy, near Mother's Day, I think Mother's Day, there's an acacia that is yellow, and they have like an tradition to give that to the women. I think it's Mother's Day, maybe I'm even not correct, Women's Day, I'm not sure exactly. And this flower here from this tree, it's reminding me of that acacia spice that grows in Europe. So I'm just feeling into this thriving of nature, and, you know, in a place that the sun is so hard, so harsh, and nothing can really survive, you know, but yet it did survive. I wasn't here in the summer. My mother wasn't here, so there was someone else who actually stayed in my place and didn't care so much for the plants. But my mom returned and cared for them, and now it's, you know, it's just greening and greening. So as I was traveling yesterday from one airport here to the village where I live, I was like looking at those beautiful mountains that are here in Sinai, and I was questioning myself, why do I love them so much? Like, why they activate me so much? And I don't really have an exact answer, but I just know that they're so ancient, and there's so much presence in them, and there's so much mystery, that they emanate something that awakens and ignites something inside of me. And then I remember that this land here, it's a mystical land. It's a biblical land. Is the land where you know, the Israelites spent 40 years, as the story tells us. You know, it's a bridge between 2 continents. And then as I'm talking about it, I'm just remembering how we can be a bridge, and how we can bridge the unseen world to the seen world. And I feel, just like Karina was mentioning, we are in this, you know, autumn season, which here in Egypt, obviously you cannot feel it. At least here in Sinai, it's like summer, it's 30 degrees, 33 degrees. But as I was in Greece before, I was feeling the change of seasons, and I was feeling this dissolution and this letting go, and but really feeling this pull of all the masks, all the labels, all the, like I shared in another occasion, like just like Inanna descends to the underworld, and she has to remove all her, you know, royal garments, and she then stands naked at the gates of the underworld. And I've been feeling that myself too, particularly during the equinox. And I knew this was a personal thing, but I feel this is also a collective thing, collective invitation, as we are in this void of another void, right? Because it feels it's like we just keep voiding and vortexing. But I feel as we are in this void of very powerful eclipse season that is coming up with the new moon in October. And that's going to be really powerful eclipses that are very much related to this underworld and this shadow parts of the collective, but obviously that always returns back to us as well. And what can we dissolve? What can we let fall off from our beautiful tree that, as I was saying, this one in my garden can really exponentially grow so fast, you know, even in the desert, even in difficult conditions. But what can we let it fall off so we can grow even more rooted, more taller, and co-create this, you know, new ways, new harmonious ways of living and coexisting. And I always I like to think, or I'm always aware that as much as, you know, I can dislike patriarchy, I am part of patriarchy because I've been conditioned and indoctrinated in systems that are patriarchal. So patriarchy lives inside of me, and as we are so eager to live in different ways, then we also have to be eager to look into the parts of us that are still holding to hierarchical structures or to shadow aspects. And something that I've been also contemplating very much is that how can I discern, right? Because discernment is very important. We don't want to be like, you know, wish-washy or love and light only, right? Because this is also important. So what I've been contemplating and really working into is like, how can I discern things without attaching judgment into what I'm discerning? So how can I, you know, trust my visceral, my instinctual knowing how my body is communicating with me if I feel not connected to something or to someone or to specific teachings or to a specific news or whatever. You know, if someone comes to me and say, oh, it's going to be a nuclear attack soon, well, I don't resonate with that. So how can I actually not engage into stereotyping or judging? I mean, this nuclear thing is just a very stupid, I'm not judge myself here, but it's a very silly example. But basically, how can I discern things and trust my visceral knowing? Because I believe in the times that we're living where consciousness in our mind is being targeted from left to right. We must really discern, and that discerning might not be able to come from here, but it can definitely come from, you know, from our, I would say even from the union of our heart and womb. Although I feel, for me personally, I feel it more that it's even deeper. It's really like on my belly, on my womb, more than in my heart, because my heart can easily fall into, yes, you know, it's, let's be love. But when I tune a little bit deeper, then I can feel, you know, no, this is not correct, or again, not to be right or wrong, but this doesn't resonate. And then for me and maybe for all of us, the bigger invitation is to then not engage in judging or putting into a box or label what is that I'm discerning that it's not in harmony or coherence with my own being, and not put into like, oh, that's bad, but more it's like that's not in resonance with me, and then allow that to just, you know, dissolve. So I'm not sure how long I've been speaking, but this is what I'm contemplating, how can I become even more sovereign, and how can I embody even more of my truth and divinity with humility, but yet with soulful leadership, right? Because I do know that I'm here to trailblaze the path for more harmonious ways. But then how do I navigate that when I feel like I'm just needing to dissolve all the labels and all of all of those titles and that society requests from us, but still embody the fiercely compassionate love, and trailblaze the path ahead for our beautiful golden age. So I'm just gonna leave this here with the feeling of Ma'at, which is this cosmic balance, and in Kabbalah, which is the mystical aspect of Judaism, there is a teaching that sometimes we have to go to the polarity. So let's say we are super good, we give, but we see that that's, this is an example, we see that it's not harmonious, right? Because we only give and we don't receive, and people just take from us. So the teaching goes like, you go to the completely opposite, which is to stop giving. You just don't give anymore, right? Until you actually can come into balance. So I feel like just closing this with knowing that sometimes we do need to go to the polarity of what we want to bring into harmony, to just experience that polarity. And then, of course, with a lot of humility and dedication and commitment, and even prayer and ceremony, to then come into balance. And I feel like Ma'at, which is the goddess, the Egyptian goddess of cosmic justice and balance, she is really embracing with her beautiful swan wings. She's embracing the planet, and in everything that is unfolding, as weird as it seems at times, is just, at least I want to believe this way, it's just part of this cosmic harmony, this cosmic balance. So thank you, and I will pass the red thread of our beautiful weaving to Diana.
Thank you. Thank you, all my sisters, stars. I have a bell here that I've had since childhood. It was from a string of bells. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I just want to begin with this. For myself and my heart, which is heavy with grief this morning and last night, and it is so much a part of everything that's been spoken, and I love how it's already been anchored, this sun in the heart and moon in the womb, and then the way we pass the baton across the world created this infinity loop, this hourglass. And speaking of letting go and discernment and looking at shadows, I was tuning in, and I got my rattle. I have all my, I brought my things to tend to my heart today, and to sort of be more in ceremony than I sometimes show up for these oracle readings. clear my energy field and to return. So it's an invitation now to, you know, look at the ways that speak to you to bring yourself back to center, to ground, and clear that infinite loop, that channel, that the vortices that spirit flows through in this embodied physical matter. And I was reminded too, as I listened to my sisters, that I was tuning in earlier yesterday to this oracle and felt called to tune into the moon herself and channel. And what I've been receiving is also very much in alignment with the season, this cycle, that everything that's been surfacing. And that is to allow everything, you know, that is being illuminated and rising to the surface and expanding into your consciousness to be acknowledged, and then also to be aware of the dark side of the moon and all that is there as well. If we look at it literally or metaphorically, or however you can access this, what is surfacing, you know, and illuminated may be joy for you right now, you know, abundance of bliss. And then what is on the other side, we sometimes don't want to look there, but acknowledging the polarity of what's going on in the world, if it's not going on in your life. Just acknowledging the truth and wholeness of our experience that we are part of, because we're not separate. And for me right now, what is rising to the surface is grief and the tension of being present for that and not pushing it away, and not you know, in honoring the boundaries to where how much I want to engage with other people's energy that brings me grief, you know, also not to construct too much of a wall around myself, not to, like what's been said before, push it away and bypass the truth of my experience, but also to acknowledge that on the dark side of the moon of this experience and the grief that weighs in my heart is the joy, is the bliss, that, you know, that childlike wonder that exists, that doesn't go away, that may go on the dark side of the moon, but is still who I am, still part of my experience, still part of the life I've lived and the life I want to continue resonating with. So the moon is inviting this with her reflection, or his reflection, depending on which cosmology you tune into, and it can shift. I'll say they are sharing with us this ability to illuminate and see clearly and receive the radiance of the sun and reflect that back to us, and also receive the radiance of the light of the sun and what it reveals to us when we're open to it. And then also that soft underbelly that is often hidden, that I invite you to, like, lift the rock and look under the stone, look underneath. Because what happens when we don't? it takes us by surprise, or like one of my teachers years and years ago said, you know, your shadow mugs you and takes over, and there's a loss of control in that too. So why not let go of control in a way and really unleash consciousness to hold all of it? So in the holding of all of it, what I really mean is letting it all go, letting go of the constraints. And in the letting go, we radiate out that light in full spectrum from dark to light, and fill our space and connect with each other. And in that expansion is the true power in creating boundaries for ourselves. In this soft, porous, interconnected way that's not connected to attachments and connected to stories of grief that unnecessarily augment and trigger, but the ability to hold it all with compassion, like Nicole said, without judgment, and with softness to allow it to be return to the elements: air, fire, earth, water. And so I'll close with this clearing resonance that integrates and grounds and harmonizes and restores Ma'at and consciousness without illusion. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing in the world. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. May the light of the moon bless and ground and purify and soften you. May you walk with Ma'at. And I'll pass it back to Debs to close.
Thank you, Diana, Nicole, Karina.
Excuse me, Deborah. I wanted to say something before you close. Please,
Yes.
If it's possible. So before we close, I would like to read something from the Womb Awakening book, just to quote. Which is about the crone. Soon we're going into is about crone. And what Seren and Azra Bertrand, who've written the book, The Womb Awakening, they say, the crone brings us the gift of release, letting go, rebirthing all that no longer serves us, so we can spiral into a deeper octave of wisdom and life. She is full of fierce devotion and wild truth. She holds the power of death, so something new can be born. This initiation can be exhilarating, intense, and terrifying. This frequency is often a tornado that wheels through your life. What is left standing is real and true, and you're called to trust this divine pruning. I leave it there with those words.
And thank you for bringing Seren in. We celebrate her birth today.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
Perfect.
Yes. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Karina. Yes, and the beautiful ship, I call it, the vessel of Womb Awakening with Seren and Azra for several years in their beautiful Womb Awakening, 9-moon apprenticeship. So I'm just tuning into, it's been beautiful just to drink in the medicine and sort of feel into the layers of what's going on. And for me, just tuning into the energetic pulse of what what's going on. I drink my daily moon water. So I leave moon water. I leave a bowl of water, or actually a little glass jar of water under the moonlight, and I drink it in the morning because I no longer bleed. I'm postmenopausal. So it helps me to really, truly align with the sort of the energetic, contraction and expansion of the moon cycle. And actually, I'm really feeling the full moon in the kind of, it's the mother archetype, the fullness, the ovulation, the summer solstice, and I'm feeling that fullness and that brightness, and it's sunny here in the UK. And yet when I tune into the energetic pulse at the moment, I really sense that what's been brought up into the light of the full moon is a deep sense of grief. And maybe sort of masking that is actually a huge fire of rage and anger. And I just wanted to bring that up because when we can go into those darker emotions, what can tend to sometimes happen is that we get swamped by them, we get embroiled in them, and we give away our power. And what my sense is, those imposter energies that are not actually truly, light source connected energies on the planet, those imposter energies feed off that negative charge. So the discernment, as you were saying, is for me is to discern what is mine and how can I use that to create value. So to use your anger to actually bring out your passion, and to be able to create value with that, rather than to hand over your power and feed the big monster that actually loves the chaos and the fear and the anger that's brought up when we give ourselves and we give our power to that and we lose our power. So beauties, remember, you are in charge, you are enthroned, you are in the driving seat of your life. And we are multidimensional beings. We can hold all of the threads of the dark moon and the full moon, of the sorrow and the joy, of the light and the dark, of the pain, of the ease, of the anger and the contentment. So really just know that we need to be conscious, we need to be aware and take back your power. Use the moon cycles, use your menstrual cycles, use the seasons, but really know that you are a beautiful multidimensional being, and together we have the power to raise the vibration of this planet. So really choose where you're at, choose what you're aligning with, choose your frequency, choose what you're resonating with, hold it, feel it, but know that there is a bigger story that we are weaving with. So sending you all so much love, and we will really welcome you to join with us next month for another full moon womb oracle weavers gathering. So much love to you all. Heart blessings from all of us.